Fallout New Vegas is a game that's known for its atmosphere. Some love its handcrafted world that considers the small details of daily life. Others criticize its vast desert landscapes for lack of variety. Love it or hate it, the game experience is tied to its atmosphere. As is tradition with beloved open-world games, the world has been analyzed to death. Whether it's calculating the unemployment rate of New Vegas, figuring out where the residents get their food, or ranking the towns you'd actually want to live in, players have pulled apart damn near every aspect of this game and analyzed it to an excruciating degree. But I think we can all agree we're not done with it yet, so we're dragging New Vegas back into the ring, jamming a stim-pack into its collapsed veins, and going another round. Today, we're looking at establishments throughout New Vegas dedicated to filling your stomach with skewered rad critters and beverage concoctions that'll make you forget about the world outside. People instinctually find places to gather and perform intoxication rituals, so we're opening up our examination to places that might not appear to be just a bar at first. Any establishment intended for people to gather and consume alcohol on site is fair game. Some of these places may sell food as well, but it's not a requirement. We'll be looking at the atmosphere, the recreation, the amenities, the selection, and the overall experience as we ask ourselves, where can you find the best spot to get a drink in New Vegas? Gameplay portions of this video were recorded live on stream, so if it catches your fancy, we'd love to have you join us live on Twitch or YouTube. Streams are on both platforms, so you can choose the one you like best. Let's get started with our character and see where this little road tour is going to begin. You gotta do what you gotta do to find the whimsy in life. Now for us, we find whimsy at the bottom of a bottle. And that's why we're headed to the Prospector Saloon. Now, I have been to the real-life location that inspired the Prospector Saloon. Pretty cool place, way out there, way in the middle of nowhere. But very cool place. And the saloon and the general store are actually attached. We got Easy Pete. Okay, so let's take a look. Let's begin our investigation. All right, so here we have it, the Prospector Saloon. You can see, despite the fact that it's a little town, they have taken great pains to dress the place up and make it appealing, give it that roadside appeal. We have string lights. We have what even appears to be air conditioning, which, if I'm being honest, I would not have assumed existed in the world of New Vegas until I looked at this just now. At least not in most of the surface world. We've got a little shack out back, and you best believe we'll be checking that out. It holds a vital part of the bar experience here. And, oh, well, I guess if you don't talk to Sonny, there's no shooting range out here. I was going to add points for the shooting range, but I don't know if we can do that now. All in all, pretty cool little spot. Look, we even got Victor going up the hill in the background there. All right. Easy Pete. Morning.
Cheyenne, stay. Don't worry. She won't bite unless I tell her to.
Looks like an attempt to add Christmas lights. Yeah, or some type of fairy light or something at least.
Until next time.
So we have friendly bar patrons. It is a dog-friendly establishment. So I rate that as a positive. I suppose it's possible that somebody rates that as a negative. But then again, do you really want to drink with those people? Let's see what else we got. We have pool here. We got a jukebox, which probably will not work for me because I have the radio turned off to avoid DMCA. All right, before we go inspecting the place top to bottom, let's go sit down. Take a look at the bar experience here. So here's our friend Benson. friendly but not overly sociable locals. Now, if I wanted to get a drink, there doesn't seem to be anybody to help me. But their selection looks quite nice. We got the barkeep's revolver, so clearly they take safety and security and orderly conduct seriously. We got beer, we got bourbon, we got wine, we got vodka, we got whiskey. Pretty well stocked for a little neighborhood bar. Seating is adequate. Got nice little one-on-one booths, and then you have your larger party booths. And the dishware looks relatively competent. All right, so we've got posters for Magician and Illusionist, Modern Jazz Group, lots of wizards. Got a 10-piece band. And another magician. This is interesting because you've got like 3 posters for magicians in this room. Now I wonder, we saw AC from the outside. Look, it is air conditioned. I mean, that's got to be massive points in this environment, right? Nice Nuka-Cola clock. I have never looked at this text before. Drink Nuka-Cola. Always time for refreshing Nuka. Honestly, if you live here in the neighborhood, this has got to be a comfortable place to come and hang out at the end of a long day. And to be honest, what else is there to do in Good Springs? You know, you go clear out the schoolhouse, you set up some tin cans to shoot at, and you come here and drink until it's time to go to bed and do it all again the next day. Let's check out the state of the bathroom. Okay, so the gentleman's bathroom is in complete destruction. However, they've turned the ladies into a nice single restroom. It's a broken mirror, but, you know, there's probably not too many people making mirrors. And it looks like, you know, the toilet is clean. The sink is clean. And you can drink clean running water out of it. So all in all, as far as wasteland accommodations go, the Prospector Saloon is very, very nice. This is the manager's office. We've been granted special access to go back here. We can see the private stock labels that they keep in the back. Bookkeeping, a modern computerized system. And then let's go take a look at a special component. A little secret recipe. Yes, not only are they a purveyor of fine spirits, they also produce their own craft spirits right here in Good Springs. Now be careful with this stuff. This will knock you blind. But the taste, the power, the value, well, you just can't compete. And what do they make this moonshine out of? Well, let's go check the town. Let's go see what we can find out about their agricultural capabilities. Do they produce fresh corn or maize? So they have agave. And this looks like corn to me. So it seems very well they could be making mash out of pure Good Springs corn. And who doesn't love a barrel cactus rum and a yucca moonshine? Still no sign of Trudy. This is a little weird that the manager appears to have been absent. Okay, well, the manager is out, so let's go see about interacting with the locals.
Sticking around Good Springs. Yeah. That's the right idea. Look on the site. Try crouching. Nice shot. Well, that's a start.
See if I can get Trudy to spawn.
Howdy.
Ah, there she is.
If you're not gonna buy
What is
it,
Cheyenne doing?
out.
Hello.
Well, you've been causing quite a stir. Glad I finally got to meet you. Welcome to the Prospector Saloon.
Now this is a proper welcome for Benson Jaegerman. Let's see.
I'm sure
Let's see
that's
about the
something you like.
selection. They got absinthe. They got an atomic cocktail if you're trying to stay up all night and also resist fire. The atomic cocktails got you. They got some bar food, some crispy squirrel bits, some iguana bits. Ah, there's that maze that makes the famous Good Springs moonshine. They got Nuka-Cola for the sober drinkers, purified water, scotch. A squirrel stew is a little bit of a odd choice of bar food, but I dig it. Squirrel on a stick, sunset sarsaparillas, and your wine and spirits. Let's see if there's anything interesting to talk about. We, of course, are not going to involve ourselves with the Powder Ganger Good Springs dispute because we are simply here to check out the drinking and dining establishments. As is customary, I believe we need to buy a beer.
Thanks. Be careful out.
Oh, you know what I should have done? I should have seen if there was a mod for New Vegas that adds drinking animations. Down the hatch. All said, cozy, comfortable, well-stocked, clean. Pleasing appearance, plenty of room. Sociable people, but nobody bothering you. Think it's a prime establishment. The Prospector Saloon is a cornerstone of its community. It receives high marks for atmosphere, friendliness, space, and comfort. Selection is good and includes local specialties, and this is as much a place to gather and for recreation as it is to wet your whistle. Any small Mojave town would be proud to have such an establishment, and it will be hard for a traveler to find another location that punches so far above its weight, setting the bar high so early into our show. For our next visit, we're going to head down the road and turn north on the Long 15 until we reach a small working settlement known as Sloan. An important part of the NCR's limestone supply chain, the residents of Sloan work the local quarry. When do we get to Flavortown? Flavortown is everywhere for those with taste buds to see.
Hold up. There are death claws all over the damn place north of here. I'd turn back if I were you. If you want to get to New Vegas, you're better off heading east from Prim and then looping north. It's a heck of a lot safer.
Let's find out about this place. Benson would like to know more.
This is Sloan, a camp for us quarry workers. The actual quarry, Quarry Junction, is up the road north of here. The whole thing is an NCR operation. We make cement for the NCR using the limestone we dig out with dynamite and drag lines. Dirty work, but the pay's good. Wish we got paid in caps, though. Not a lot of merchants like taking NCR paper money.
So the local economy here revolves around NCR dollars.
Nope. The NCR has been trying to switch over to using paper money, just like in the pre-war days. Trouble is that the exchange rates ain't exactly fair. For example, $100 in NCR money is valued at roughly half that in caps around here. Seems like a rotten deal for us, but work is work. Sure. If you insist on going north, don't be expecting a rescue when you get into trouble.
Gonna make it tough to buy a drink if you forget to exchange. I think the opposite. If you listen to him, I get the impression that bottle caps here go a long way. So if you are a Mojave resident, yes, they will take your NCR money. But if you come here with caps, the exchange is going to be in your favor. They're going to be very happy to take your money, and it probably works out to be cheaper. That's the mining office. I think this. Yeah, this is the mess hall. All right, so this is what we got. It is obviously assembled of corrugated metal. with wooden supports. The roof is nothing fancy. Honestly, the whole thing could use a coat of paint and a little bit of epoxy. But it's in keeping with the styles of the town. Got some type of lines that run through here. Power lines, I'm assuming. Outside 3 out of 10. Yeah, but you never know. Sometimes those places that look scary from the outside, they end up being some of the best, most cozy places. It's rustic for sure, or just rusty. Okay, so check this out. We have this generator here. This generator seems to power the mining office, and then the mining office actually has cables laid out to all of these other buildings to provide electricity. This is the level of detail that I'm still surprised to see little things like this that they thought through. You know, like, how does this place get its power? They actually have a diegetic answer to that, which is very cool. All right, let's head on in.
Hey.
Wonder if they get Deathclaw attacks. It seems like the Deathclaws maybe don't stray from the quarry.
Let me ask you a question. What's the tastiest thing you've ever eaten?
Oh man, Benson Jaegerman has had some tasty meals. Be hard to choose one. Anything that wasn't made 200 years ago.
Yeah, can you believe some people still eat that stuff? Anyway, I've got this recipe for a Deathclaw omelet that I've been itching to try out. Trouble is, I need a Deathclaw egg. Kinda obvious, I suppose.
When'd you come up with this recipe?
My great-aunt Rose ran a bed and breakfast back in California, in a town called Modoc. She's the one who created the recipe in the first place. I don't know how she managed to get a hold of a female Deathclaw, but she kept it in a shed. Aunt Rose had a steady supply of eggs for her omelets. At least, she did until some stranger came along and killed the Deathclaw. Shot it right in the eye.
That whole thing is a big Fallout 2 reference. I love that. So Modoc was a town in Fallout 2, and there actually was a bar with Aunt Rose where you could bring Deathclaw eggs, and she would make a Deathclaw omelet. I think Aunt Rose gives you a task to go, like, bring meals to people or something. And of course, shooting it right in the eye is a Fallout 2 thing through and through. Fallout 1 and 2. What are you offering in exchange for a Deathclaw egg?
I don't have much in the way of money, but I'd be willing to share the secret of the recipe.
All right, let's see what else we can find out about the place.
Sure. What did you want to know?
Outside it ain't so great, but inside it's homey. It's true. Let's see what they have for sale.
Sure.
Now the selection here is not so great. Dirty water. We got some gecko steaks, junk food, sunset sarsaparilla, and wine. So not much in the way of alcohol. It seems like wine is your only option. It's probably all that they can get imported on the NCR supply trains. So this is more a place to sit down and get a soda, get a water, get some food if you're hungry, if you're thirsty, if you need a place to rest. Not going to be your greatest option in terms of bar establishment. Let's go ahead and treat ourselves to a sarsaparilla. All right, so they have a friendly, I don't know what you would call, not quite a bartender, just like the everything, a friendly face of the establishment. And it looks like we've got, I would presume this is coffee. If not, it may be just a container for water. But, you know, the mugs to me imply it's coffee. So you can stop by in the morning as well. We got a little jukebox. We got advertisements for the Super Duper Mart. I hear there's one of those out east. And Radiation King radios and televisions, the classic. Obviously, this establishment had some type of distribution deal with Sunset Sarsaparilla. You can see they have marketing material, they have the vending machine. Let's check out the kitchen. It looks a little dark back here. Honestly, it's probably not the best environment to be preparing clean food. It looks like they are preparing stuff directly on the countertop in a dark environment. Refrigeration standards seem little, but at least they have a broom. They keep the place, you know, fairly organized. We do have a bottle down here on the floor that is an empty bottle that is trash. We've got some trash in the fridge. So cleanliness standards, you know, by the Mojave, not the worst, but it could definitely use some improvements. I think probably they're a little understaffed, and, you know, it seems to be just Jazz here working. Nice tall ceiling. Got this light bulb up here, which seems to need to be replaced. Which, once again, probably, you know, because of the tall ceilings, they're not able to do so easily. But, you know, they're out here, they're surviving, they're living, they're doing the best they can do. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, major red flag. Major red flag. Benson has seen some cheap meat in his time, but he can't quite identify what is in this strange meat pie. It's a little concerning. And his travels across the wastelands have taught him that if he can't identify the meat, you might want to stay away. Raw next to cooked, you're right. The strange meat pie cooked. No, you're very right. The strange meat pie, I can see evidence that the Maillard reaction has taken place. Ergo, it is cooked. Meanwhile, the mole rat meat is not. So we have raw next to cooked. Okay. This place is one of those places that you frequent for a long time, and then you see a report on the news that they have far too many health violations, and you never eat there again. This also supports the ghost kitchen theory. Amazing how that place went from like a solid 5.5 to a 1. Unfortunately, although our experience in the Sloan mess hall started out quaint, it quickly went downhill. Already, Sloan was lacking on necessities such as sinks and bathrooms, but its cozy establishment with a variety of eats somewhat made up for this. It had a rustic sort of charm. Further inspection of the kitchen led to a nightmare though, as we found unidentified meat samples and raw meats next to cooked. Could these strange meat pies be made with iguana bits straight from the hub? I wouldn't risk finding out. The people of Sloan have to do what they have to do, but for the visitor on the road, we simply can't recommend sending your business here. Our next step on the Wild Wasteland Whistle Wedding Tour is the town of Prim, home to the Vikki and Vance Casino as well as the Bison Steve Hotel. The town usually represents a lone attraction in the middle of the desert. Currently, however, it's under siege by raiders, while the NCR control the outskirts of the town. We'll be stopping by to check out the bar at Vikki and Vance. Ah, look, we can see the advertisement now. Interstate 15, and just off the highway, the Vikki and Vance Casino. See the infamous couple's death car, authentic memorabilia from their nationwide crime spree. Take exit 1 toward Prim. Alright, so this would appear to be exit 1 towards Prim, and the sign instructs us to smile. Here we are under the purview of the NCR. This is not necessarily a part of town you want to travel to, so take caution when you're heading to the Vikki and Vance Casino. Transit here sucks. And the patrols are really not interested in your own well-being. Free souvenirs, that's a way to think of it. Okay, this fight is not going well for Benson. Let's take a look at the Vikki and Vance casino. So obviously a large, impressive establishment from the outside. Nice molding here. We do have, you know, some boarded up sections, some things that look to not necessarily be in the best repair. Even the light poles out in front of the building, they really could work on it a little bit. We got blood stains on the wall here. At least there are ample trash cans. Nothing worse than not having a trash can and having to hold on to your trash forever.
Sure, have a look.
So let's take a look at what's for sale. Lots of guns and ammo. We got some Brahmin steak. Gecko steak, iguana. So we have some stuff to eat. Some pinion nuts, purified water. And we got a little bit of whiskey and wine. So this place does qualify. This is a place where alcoholic beverages are sold for on-site consumption. And indeed, they've got a bar. Let's go check out the bar. State of the place is in disarray. Obvious spills here that have not been cleaned up. And the atmosphere here is one of fear and paranoia. Everybody is walking around at the low ready. Bloodstains abound. Somebody has left a pistol. We better pick that up so nobody finds it and hurts themselves with it. Nobody busses the tables. We've got glasses everywhere. I understand the fact that they're under siege, but they seem to take no pride in their display. There's pistol over the floor. I mean, look at this. We got bar stools turned over.
Howdy.
Obvious stains. Half-smoked cigarettes. Do we even have a restroom we can use? This might have been the restroom.
Move along, please.
You got this robot that barks at you if you're spending too much time here. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants to feel like they're taking up unwelcome space. The sad thing is, this would have been a decent bar at some point, but it just seems that they've let it all go to hell. It seems they have consumed about 99% of what they once stocked, and then nobody bothered to clean up. Still got whiskey. I mean, Johnson Nash has the whiskey, but show me the whiskey behind this bar. It seems to me that Johnson Nash has sequestered all of the whiskey and is selling it for profit.
Howdy.
After drinking his fill, no less. Ash is a thirsty kitten. Well, that's no way to run a bar. We've got cigarettes if smoking is your thing, but I can find no evidence of alcoholic beverages in stock anywhere besides in Nash's inventory. No seals are broken here. No chips rolled. No warm greetings exchanged. This is a cold and empty casino. Also, the place needs some better lighting. It doesn't need to be lit up like the sun. This room's okay. But the amount of lumens for this space is too few. Overall, this place, it's a potential 5 or 6 out of 10. But the way it's run now, it barely qualifies. Barely qualifies as a bar establishment. I'm going to give it a tentative 2. All in all, the bar here has potential, but is in dire need of clear management. Although in a crisis situation, it seems that nobody here is taking proper charge of the establishment or maintaining order. All of the alcohol is exclusively in the inventory of one Johnson Nash, and you can't even see the labels before you buy. Messes abound, and the atmosphere is dim and gloomy, even if not for fear of the raider occupation. All around, not one of our top experiences. It was time to hit the long and dusty trail to the next location. South out of town and further down the 15 stands the Mojave Outpost, marked out front by a massive statue celebrating the unification of the Rangers. It signifies stability and security to travelers in the region. Though NCR regulations and especially taxes may be unpopular, having armed patrols on the roads and facilities for traders helps encourage trade. All right, so technically these are Mojave Outpost barracks.
Hello.
Right away, the lighting in here is not amazing. I do find it interesting. We have, I've never noticed this before, but we have an entire library. Well, what counts as a library for the wasteland of pre-war books. We got chessboards. Go ahead and take a seat. And of course, we have a fan favorite companion right here. This is Sharon of Rose Cassidy, or Cass. And Cass's lineage actually goes back to Fallout 2, where her dad is a companion. About the only friendly face here that is not NCR. And you can see she puts away some whiskey. We have a selection of grub and Nuka-Cola based soft drinks. And for a drink selection, looks like we got beer, we got bourbon, whiskey, wine, scotch, water, sarsaparilla. The only thing I don't see, unless this is vodka. This might be, I don't remember if this is vodka or bourbon.
Hey.
Looks like they have vegetarian meals as well. Yeah, the lighting could absolutely use an improvement in here. In fact, I would go so far as to say that the lighting being this dim is a health and safety hazard. The vibes are not great. It is a safe place to stop and get a drink, get some food, but I feel like you're going to be very aware the whole time that you are under the eye of the NCR. It's going to be hard to let loose a little in here. Thankful for the security, yes, but also aware of the rigid hierarchy. We have a well-stocked pantry here. Lots of flour. Got some mac and cheese, buffalo gourds. Amazing that they're still stocking pre-war canned foods. You would think that would run out by now. And we have a kitchen for the fresh preparations. Got some coffee. And the barracks. Overall, if I had to give this place a gut rating based off of everything that I see here, I'm going to give it like a 6 or a 7 out of 10. It's relatively clean. It's well stocked. It is secure. But you know, there's just something a little off about the vibe. Unless you are a hardcore NCR loyalist, then this is definitely going to be your kind of place. If you serve in the NCR, it's probably a good place for getting together and team bonding. But beyond that, it's not winning any awards for appeal. Ammo for sale. I could use ammo.
New face in the outpost. Must have come from the north. So, what do you have? Take a look.
Oh, they do have ammo. Actually, a surprising amount. Take all this 20 gauge. 9mm. Nice plasma pistol. Okay, so, you know, if you're looking to come here to restock, you could do a lot worse. I think we might even go ahead and pick up this 5.56mm pistol and the ammo for it, because I think we'll probably run into more 5.56 ammo as we go. All in all, not a bad place, and for the average person trying to get by, could be a welcome sight. The Mojave Outpost fills a lot of solid needs for the weary traveler. Sate your thirst, rest your Brahmin, fill your belly, fill your guns with ammo. It is by its very nature imperial and bureaucratic, efficient and necessary, but not necessarily the neighborhood haunt where you go for the good times. Those stationed at the outpost may view it differently, and for that it serves a necessary purpose and does it well. Our next stop was not one that I had planned on including, nor even remembered existed until I stumbled upon it while looking for something else. We decided to poke around inside. Well, hey now, let's check this out in the spirit of adventure. If this is a raider hideout in a cave, then just maybe they've got something interesting inside where they go to relax and imbibe. The Prospector's Den. Let's see if we can find anything fitting the description of a bar or anything close to it. Let's see, we got somebody with absinthe. That's a good sign. Okay, actually very cool lighting in here. We got some beer. Another 22 pistol. Actually a big fan of this. Looks like the people here are well fed and what's the word for having a lot to drink? Whatever it is, they're well stocked. Interesting how a lot of these prospectors do have 22 pistols. You know what? This one may not be exactly what we think of as a bar, but I think we want to go ahead and review this one on its own merits. I mean, check it out. We got a jukebox, a table, a couple communal beds. That's a bit of a weird choice, but I'm not gonna judge too much. We've got sheets over the windows to... Well, I'm not really sure why, because this is inside a cave. So it's not like there's a lot of outside lights other than the string lights that are outside. We got our sunset sarsaparilla. Overall, it's pretty cozy. We got a little bit to drink. We've got a little pantry. Let's go check outside. Oh, sadly, we do not have the option to sit at this one. I think this is a case where this has got to be an honorable mention, you know? We're not going to be able to call this a winner or rate it highly, but I think it's a reminder that you have to make do with what you have. And that sometimes home is where you and the important people are. And I think they've done a lot with this place. And I would dare say more than some other establishments we've seen in New Vegas. I would be happy to have a drink here. It seems comfortable. It seems cool from the hot weather of the Mojave outside. It's got nice mood lighting. All in all, I am a fan. Good job, prospectors. So this is another NCR land here, but to me it doesn't feel as oppressively NCR as the Mojave Outpost does. This feels like a true stop on the side of the road. Somewhere to fuel up, somewhere to do some barter. The selection here is not amazing. Although, I mean, we've got whiskey, scotch, vodka and wine, beer, sunset sarsaparilla, and water. So honestly, I take that back. The selection is better than it at first appeared. You have nice outdoor seating by the fire for mood lighting and warmth on these chilly desert nights. Chilly. The people here are friendly, but also no nonsense. They do project a certain amount of security. I mean, look, don't you feel safe with Samuel here? Now, you know he's not going to let anything go down, no kind of ruckus while you're around here. And I think that'll let you really let your guard down a little bit and enjoy, like he was really enjoying that whiskey, like enjoying it a lot. Like he's going to go back for another round and enjoy it a lot again. But you know what? That's what we do here. At the, what do they call this place?
Welcome to the 188 Sloppin' Shop.
The Sloppin' Shop.
It's better than nothing. Let me see.
Ooh, we can do some repairs here. Let's get this recharger rifle repaired. Now, keep in mind, we did want to get into Vegas. So we do need to have about 2,000 caps put away. I think we can do that off a couple of these weapons here. Oh, we have some NCR money too if we need it. Ooh, they don't have that much money. Okay, so the amount of actual trading you're going to be able to do here is limited. I guess we'll take that 10 mil back. Sell some of our other stuff. You know what? We'll keep the machete. We might need something that doesn't use ammo. Overall, nice little roadside stop. Nothing fancy. Nothing that's going to break the list of the best places to sit and get a drink in Vegas, but very serviceable in an area of the Mojave that is otherwise very dry. We found very little between here and here. Everything else in between, it's been very hard to find anywhere to get some service. So thank you, 188 Trading Post, for what you do for the people. Let's head on towards Boulder City. Let's get some establishing shots here. Gotta think like our own film crew. Don't wait another damn minute. Rangers give 'em hell. Visit Hoover Dam today. So obviously, Boulder City is an important logistical hub. You can see we have multiple train sections spreading through here. Home of the Eagles. We have what appears to be some type of rock crushing plant, which may be important for the NCR and their capability to build concrete. We know this is part of what they're doing in Quarry Junction and why the quarry is so important to the NCR. And I believe this is going to be a continuation of that, as they will need it to build more secure structures. A lot of the town itself looks destroyed, as though it was caught in an artillery battle. There are not many here, but it's an important place nonetheless. We have this war memorial as well. On this spot in the year 2277, Rangers and soldiers of the new California Republic turned back the forces of Caesar's Legion during the Battle of Hoover Dam. Over 100 men and women gave their lives on Nevada soil to defend local civilians and the principles of the Republic. May this humble stone be an enduring memorial to their valor and sacrifice. And then on the reverse, we have a list of names. Notice how many of them are privates. And actually, we can see Kowalski here. It's Donald Kowalski. And if we go up and meet this gentleman, we find that this is another Private Kowalski. This is the brother of one of those who is memorialized here. Which means if you mistreat the memorial, he gets upset.
What the fuck are you doing? My brother died at the Battle of Hoover Dam. You're desecrating a war memorial.
My apologies. It was rude and disrespectful of me to do that.
All right, apology accepted. Don't let it happen again. Bye.
Now it is time to check out, I forgot to get a shot of this, the Bighorn Saloon. Building itself looks to be in pretty good shape compared to the surrounding area. Seems it's been treated quite well. And honestly, a nice little storefront with a little fusion battery here. I never realized how much information you could find on these batteries. Is that a uranium-270 battery? Does that make sense? Uranium-270? That sounds about right for molecular weight. Made in China. Very interesting, considering that China and the US were undergoing a resource war at the time. All right, let's check out the Bighorn Saloon. Now, honestly, this is one of the places that I am most partial to. Part of this comes, I think, from playing Fallout Dust and coming in here, and it's filled with ghosts, and it's otherwise just empty, just isolate. And I think this feels like the kind of place where you go to drink with ghosts. You go to sit here to be in the company of other spirits, but not other bodies, and to think about the ghosts of the past. Now, looking at the walls here, they are quite well stocked. We have an assortment of alcoholic beverages. We've got Sunset Sarsaparilla, we've got Nuka, we've got Nuka Clear, purified water. And judging by this, they even offer cigarettes. They offer hot coffee. They may even have some stuff on tap. And that would be a real rarity here. Also, points for the mustache, of course. Once again, an understated fact, they have quite the library of pre-war books. So, in a place where not everybody can read and knowledge is precious for those who can, I think that's quite an important deal. Now, maybe these books are not high sciences books, but they are still culture. They are still something worth preserving of the before times, and I think it's important to see an establishment that recognizes and protects that. Plenty of seating all around. It looks like the possibility to get a little cramped at peak hours, but right now it's just us and the bartender.
Hello?
Ike.
A customer. Not many people come into Boulder City these days.
Tell me about Boulder City, Ike.
Most of the town is rubble, destroyed during the Battle of Hoover Dam. And the only other thing around here is the concrete mixing yard.
What's the concrete used for?
The NCR has been constructing bunkers up and down the river. From what I've heard, it's a little late for that. Travelers over at the 188, just up the road, said that the Legion has overrun a couple of towns to the south.
It's amazing the lore you can get. And see, I was talking about how the rock crushing here is important to the concrete supply of the NCR.
Most of the limestone comes from Quarry Junction out west, but I hear some Deathclaws overran the quarry. With no work to be had, all the workers around here have wandered off. I'm the only one left in town.
Only one left in town. And see, that's why this place, the Bighorn Saloon, it gets my vote for the best place to drink in the company of ghosts.
What can I get you?
All right, once again, not a ton of money, so we've got to sell some stuff off piecemeal here so that we don't overwhelm them. Oh, I'm sorry, I called this Nuka Clear. It was actually Nuka Quartz. Let's go ahead and take one of those for the road.
Pleasure doing business with you. Come back real soon.
New Vegas fans have probably recognized that we're following the path that the game generally intends players to follow to get from Goodsprings to the Strip. This has been a convenient way of lining up locations to visit, and we're closing in on our ultimate destination, the Strip itself. But the Strip is a very exclusive and expensive place. It would be a crime to focus on the pinnacle here and ignore the local populations that exist outside the gates. So we're going to spend some time circling the various communities here to see what facilities are available to them. Now we do have a little roadside stand here. What do we have?
Hey.
The Grub and Gulp Rest Stop.
Welcome to the Grub and Gulp. Just a little rest stop that me and my good friend Lupe set up. Last stop on your way into New Vegas, first stop on your way out. That's what I say.
And most importantly, no high cost to get in.
I do decent enough. The NCR patrols usually stop by for a quick bite, and travelers like yourself pass by a couple times a week.
Missed so much. We've honestly, Maiko, this one has been a fairly dry area of New Vegas so far. We've establishments along the way. We finally just found one in Boulder City, but really not too many in this whole part of the Mojave. Good to have you, though. We see here that the Grub and Gulp, they don't really have all that much for sale. They've got food, and that's a good positive. You need that on the road. You need a place to be able to stop and get some grub and maybe get some gulp. Now, what that gulp is, well,
Hello.
maybe there's more implication to the name than we know. As far as a place to stop and get some food, well, the dining area is quite cozy. See, we have a pen for the cattle here. And a trough as well. So not only can you grub and gulp, but so can your Brahmin. Got a campfire, even a couple of beds that passing scavengers might find quite useful. There must have been a celebration going on, as it's quite an occasion to roast an entire Brahmin. Perhaps the Grub and Gulp also caters to large parties with an advance reservation. As far as drinks, well, there don't seem to be much, but we do have these suspicious barrels and coils here that, well, those in the know, well, they know. We can see the shine accumulated over here as well. So it's not going to be high quality stuff, and you're going to hope to God that they've separated their heads and their hearts and their tails correctly. But it's something. Something for the thirsty traveler on the road. For those of us not in the know, well, they don't know. And see, the greatest tragedy is that you don't know what you don't know. The tops. Frolic, thrill, relax, enjoy. I love the word frolic in here. I don't know that I've ever gone to a casino bar establishment thinking I could really go for a good frolic right now. In fact, I feel like a frolic is something you do like in a meadow. I don't feel like it's something that you do in a suit, you know, throwing down at the roulette wheel with a cocktail in your hand. But what do I know? And with this, we'll pass the credit check. But first, to check out Freeside. Ah, there it is. Yep, we're in Freeside, all right. Who's that? Is that a fiend? That is a fiend. All right, let's see what kind of establishments we've got here. I only know of the one. Why are you yelling at me? I'm using a silenced pistol. I'm being courteous here. So we can't really count this as a full entry, but of note, there is an entrepreneur here, Gomorrah, who does have a roadside meat stand. Who doesn't love a little roadside Vegas meat?
Need some grub? I got you covered. Cheap and filling. Typically, I find it goes down better if I leave people guessing. So what do you say? Want some?
Not until you tell me where you get the food from. Listen, I am a very serious and famous restaurant reviewer.
I have my little helpers out and about, always looking for fresh things to add to the stew pot. You may have seen them around somewhere yourself. Now deny your hunger no longer.
All right, let's see what we got.
You won't regret it, at least until an hour or so from now.
Crispy squirrel bits, dog steak, mole rat stew, rad roach meat, and squirrel on a stick. We've got a lot of squirrels here. A lot of squirrel. Which honestly, if I have to pick something off this table, I think I'm going for the squirrel. I mean, I don't know. For all I know, a radroach could just taste like a big lobster, but I still feel like I'm going for the squirrel. As I suspected, everything on this side of Freeside is all closed and boarded up. It's a shame. A ruined store. Nobody even thinks to clean up these rusted out car hulls. And talking about squirreling one away, absolutely. Saving it for winter, even. Yep, just the old robotics shop. That's a shame, because once there was a bakery here. Pies, cakes. The people of Freeside would love to have that type of food abundance. But no use trying to live in the past. Does that say Smitty's or Sanity's? No, that's two T's. That's Smitty's. Which is funny because there was a Smitty in Fallout 1. And if you gave him I want to say a laser rifle or a plasma rifle, he could turn it into one of the best weapons in the game with some special upgrades. And if you go to the Silver Rush, you can actually buy the Smitty Special. So it's a nice little callback, a lot of continuity to the old game. Let's take a look at the block here. We've got the Atomic Wrangler. We've got the Silver Rush. Smitty's. Smitty's is sadly closed. We see this was established 2009. Amazing that it lasted all the way up until the bombs fell. And we also have Kingman's Barbecue. This side of town used to be hoppin'. Even next to the casino, there was at one point Cherry Liquor. So Freeside doesn't seem to have much for us, but there is at least one fine establishment here. The Atomic Wrangler is the place to go for drinks, entertainment, gambling, and even a little one-on-one R&R session. Let's go check out the Wrangler.
I've got my eye on you.
What? I just got in here, okay? Immediate points away for rude and unfriendly security. You're supposed to make the customer feel at home. Got a nice stage here, so it's a place where you can stop in and get not just a drink, but some entertainment. You can do some gambling while you're here. Not a ton of games, not a very high limit, but for the average Freesidian, well, it's their only refuge. Looking at the bar here, we have clearly professionals staffing it. Look, they even have things like books and paperwork. That's how you know you're in a professional establishment. They have paperwork and a sawn-off lever-action shotgun behind the bar. Got packs of smokes. We got ammo. We got beers. We got whiskey. We got all sorts of drinks. Comfortable lounge chair environment allows you to face inward for your group, your dining group, or face the stage for the night's premiere entertainment. And on the wall, some reminders of the wildlife that exists outside of Freeside. You can also stop in and rent a room. Have, frankly, very nice hallways. I would say this has got to be one of the nicest establishments in Freeside. It would get an 8 out of 10 for me, but the unfriendly security brings it down to a 7. They really ought to have a staff meeting about that and brand presentation. The Atomic Wrangler is a well-run machine serving Freeside citizens and earns its place as a landmark of the area. It was time to move on, but before we headed into the strip itself, I wanted to swing by some other locations. Although not frequented by players, there are a couple other concentrations of society in Westside and North Vegas. I wanted to see what sort of options the residents there would have. We're actually going to check out North Vegas and West Vegas. See if we have any spots. See, a lot of players don't really think much of these locations. You visit them once when you're really exploring the map, and then a lot of times people just don't come back here again. Now the question for me is, are there any dining or drinking establishments in the area? And it looks like for North Vegas, the answer is probably no. We can check out the Gray.
Just gotta find me some sweet jet.
But, you know, this place, it kind of seems more like a den than a bar. So I don't really think we can count it, even if we do find people imbibing in substances here. So let's check out West Vegas. It's a shame with a little investment in economic revitalization in the area. I think we could do a lot with these parts of Vegas, but unfortunately, I just don't think they're going to get the attention that they need. Westside, here we go. Could have gone through the sewers, didn't feel like it. Oh, interesting, there's another Smitty's here.
Howdy.
That's it, that's the howdy. That's the howdy. We always went back and forth debating who it is. Is it Easy Pete? Is it the doctor in Jacobstown? But it sounds like it's Judah Krager.
You don't strike me as someone down on...
Unless it's reused between multiple characters. So we have Klamath Bob's Liquor Store. Another callback. Klamath being... Is that Fallout 1 or 2? Okay, so this place does not seem to sell alcohol for consumption on premises. Therefore, I cannot qualify this one as a bar. However, maybe they supply somebody in the area. Westside Co-op. I'm impressed with how it's maintained, but once again, not a bar. And these are the Casa Madrid apartments. Yeah, it's possible that Westside itself has no bar. I'm gonna look around a bit more to be sure, but I'm pretty sure that the Thorn has one. I was wrong. I could not find one at the Thorn. Next, we headed to the Strip. All right, we're gonna take a seat at the bar here and just take a look around. Wow, listen to that haunting ambient noise. All right, so this is the bar of the Lucky 38. And I just gotta say, the vibes are kind of rancid somehow. If the other bar was a place to drink in the company of ghosts, this one feels like a place to drink and be haunted. So right now we're at the Lucky 38, and to be honest, there's just something kind of sinister about this place. It's well stocked. You know, no problems here. Cigarettes, drinks, food, anything you want. They've got it. Plenty of space. Gambling at your fingertips. Hottest tables in town. Lucky 38 Hotel, Las Vegas. Let's see what we have on the news. Electricity solutions discovered. Vegas's new hotel shines. Local strikes it rich. And a kind doctor murdered in Good Springs. Town citizens shocked. Let's see. Grand opening, Lucky 38 Hotel, Las Vegas, Nevada. Gomorrah Hotel still popular. A legacy starts. The Lucky 38 Hotel ribbon is cut. Citizens worried about electricity shortages. Maybe in its heyday, this was a place to be, but even if you are the lucky one, the chosen one, who gets invited into the Lucky 38, I have to say, don't let your guard down. There's something off about this place. What's interesting about the Lucky 38 as a bar is it's got the bar. So we can see the bar from here. That's us in the distance. But then it's got the VIP lounge. Quite exclusive place. Here we can find the golden boxing gloves. Perhaps a trophy for an athlete past. Would be cool if there was some really high-end alcohol that you could only get in the VIP areas. Looks like somebody was taking their work with them to the bar. Now, of course, this is the fancier, more exclusive area, but to be honest with you, if I were going to drink in here in the Lucky 38, this is where I would do it. Something about being at an elevated position, closed off from everything going on downstairs. I think that's just the preferable experience. But all in all, the Lucky 38 itself, not high on my list of haunts. But that's not all. All right, now we get to go to the cocktail lounge, and this place has a different sort of vibe altogether. Let's take a look. Somehow I find the howling wind sound up here very soothing. Somehow it is just as lonely as the main bar of the Lucky 38, but in a different sort of way. Down there, it feels like you are haunted, like you're mired in the spirits of the past. But up here is where you go when you want to be alone and you want to feel as though you are the last person on Earth, yet above it all. Let's see what they have on tap. Dunwick's Irish Red, Horowitz Lager, Dirty something or other brown ale. We even have taps for Sunset Sarsaparilla and Fishbrow Pale Ale. Also, of course, we have to point out the snow globe back here. Somebody's been looking for that for a long time. Yeah, this has a different sort of vibe to it. It's not, to me, it's not as dooming. It's not as depressing. It doesn't feel as much like hell or like limbo as the main bar of the Lucky 38. This is a place where I could recommend drinking more. This feels like the ultimate exclusive secret hideout. You know, like when you were a kid and you would play in the treehouse and pretend it was like a fortress of solitude? That's what this cocktail lounge feels like. We had a couple more locations to round out our exploration of the Strip. Gomorrah, the Tops, the Ultra-Luxe. The Lucky 38 is the talk of the town, especially with Benson being the first person to enter it in years for an exclusive review. But could any of the other locations on the strip compare or even surpass it as a social establishment? Alright, so the next one to check out is Brimstone, which you sharp-eyed viewers may recognize is where I am currently sitting. In Brimstone. Why are you doing that, camera? No, you're breaking the illusion. Stop it. Stop it. Now I have to reset everything. This is why I hate AI.
There's some serious shit.
Now I have to Alt-Tab. Probably crash my game. It's an AI-controlled camera. Nobody told you to zoom out. Nobody told you to pan over. See, now everybody agrees with my consensus reality. That's what's important. As I was saying, this is Brimstone, where I am currently joining you from. Of course, we gotta catch some of the advertising as well. I'm gonna have to lighten this up in post. There's not enough light. Games with free cams, by the way, absolutely a gift to content creators. More free cams, more photo modes. Let's have it all, please. I really like this flickering fire effect. It's something that you don't really pay a lot of attention to normally, but I like it a lot. Gomorrah gets new owners. Residents splattered on Bison Steve roller coaster tracks. I have never seen this.
Hey, big guy. Looking for a good time?
Honestly, I don't know, man. The vibes in here are kind of like really sad, and like I get that Vegas is all about sin and debauchery, but this feels like that without any of the fun. You know, it just feels like bad. You feel bad to be in here. I love that chanting in the background. This is the stuff you never hear if you don't turn the music off. Yeah, I don't know. It's sad. It's depressing. Like, it's almost a cozy atmosphere if it was a better place to be. But it feels like, I feel like they should have called this place Gehenna instead of Gomorrah, because it kind of just feels like a trash pit of eternal rot. So my final ranking on this place is 2 out of 10. I think if they had added more NPCs milling around, it would have probably been better. Then again, it was probably done this way because of engine limitations. It's true. The fact that the strip is separated into 3 areas and each one has its own load zone supposedly is due to the limitations of the PlayStation 3 and them having to adapt the game to fit on the PlayStation 3 at the time, which, by the way, by far the worst way to play this game. I grew up playing this game on the PlayStation 3, and if you play it long enough, every PlayStation 3 save file will become unplayable in time. The memory just gets bigger and bigger, and then you start getting frame drops and freezes and crashes. I don't think I ever finished all 4 DLC on one save file on the PS3 because my save file would become too unstable before I could get to that point. Let's check out the Aces Theater. Let's find a good place to sit. Honestly, decent little bar here. Check out the tap. We've got all the same stuff on tap that they offer at the Lucky 38. So not struggling, not lacking on the competition. Got a decent amount of people in here. It feels lively. It could use some better lighting. I feel like maybe that's just a New Vegas thing in general. The lighting tends to be pretty dingy. But, you know, if they just lit this place up a little better, it would feel a little more homely. But we've got a variety of seats around these individual little tables with ashtrays. Obviously, it is all smoking section. And then we've got some booths over here. Couple that with entertainment. Let's see, do we have a microphone? Do we have a sound system? We've obviously got stage lights. I don't know where the sound system comes from. I'm not seeing any sort of PA. Anything back here? Backstage area is kind of scant, but that's okay. We were never meant to see that. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing for sound, but they've got a ribbon microphone, so.
Hey, ya mama, what's the haps?
Then again, you do have this person in your ear constantly saying things like, hey there, mama, what's the haps? So you take the good with the bad. Get a little picture of ourselves for the road. Not bad. Pretty decent place. You can see why it attracts a lot of people on the strip.
Ring a ding, baby.
And we have the Ultra-Luxe. The Ultra-Luxe. Very nice water feature out front. It's a very nice contrast with the water in the front and the fires of Gomorrah in the back. And then over on the left, the flying saucer neon lights of the tops, each having its own distinct aura. But what is that in the top left of my screen? I can't zoom in on it, but I swear it looks like a pair of arms or a pair of legs or something. It looks like maybe my character model's arms. That's really weird. It looks like the arms of my character model. Maybe I need to zoom out some. Okay, well now they're gone. Now this is fancy. Check out what we got here in the Gourmand. We have these nice, fancy, sort of breeze block looking things that are sort of faux separators for the room. They don't make you feel totally shut out like you're in a cubicle, but they do kind of section the room off in a nice way that makes it feel like you have your own space. Looking at the size of the stakes here, it is obvious that this is a place where you can get high quality food that will feed an entire party. Some would argue that the lighting and decor is a little gauche, but at the same time, it wants to make an impression with its elegance. This is an exclusive space, after all. We find here fine Brahmin tallow candles, the likes of which are made only by one small custom shop in all of the Mojave.
Morning.
The masks lend an air of mystery, anonymity, yet elegance. And don't you worry, just because they have their big fancy steaks doesn't mean you can't get a creme musube. Got Sunset Sarsaparilla Scotch sodas. And, you know, it looks like the average person can get in here, too, as we have people that are in fairly basic wasteland settler and caravan outfits. They're not in the patched skin and patched leather outfits, but not everybody is dressed up in black tie or white tie. So it seems if you work hard, if you prove yourself in the harsh business world of New Vegas, even you can find a way into the Gourmand and enjoy one of their renowned steaks. I wonder what this camera is for. Check out the decor in here. This painting, it speaks to me. We also see the Ultra-Luxe Royal Chip Tournaments. This is a place where big money moves are made. There's a new winner and a new loser every day. But just being a part of the process, well, that is a rare privilege. This report is the last one we received from our restaurant correspondent, Benson Yeagerman. His next assignment was a behind-the-scenes tour of the Gourmand's kitchen, an ultra-exclusive look which no news agency had been granted for years. We here at Vault Noctum Radio are offering a 500 cap bounty for any information leading to the safe return of surviving footage. You've seen what the Mojave has to offer live and in person. Now let's grant some honors and talk about our favorites. First on our show, and setting a hard precedent to follow, Goodspring's Prospector Saloon shows us what you can achieve when you bring together community, service, and hospitality. It's truly a place that brings people together and keeps the local economy moving, and Trudy acts as a trusted mentor to the town, as much as she does a keeper of the establishment. It's no wonder it's become such an icon of New Vegas. As the first place that most players encounter, and an introduction to many of the mechanics of the game, it's a creation that should be studied for its influence. One of the most standout locations we investigated today is one that was not even originally on our list, one we found entirely by accident. Proving that your surroundings are what you make of them, the Prospector's Cave tells a story of a group of people fighting for survival and turning their refuge into a home. Comfortable atmosphere, personal touches, and the cold stone of the cave walls make this location larger than the sum of its parts. Some drink to remember, and some drink to forget. If you're the former, the Bighorn Saloon sets just the right atmosphere. It's an environment that feels larger than the emptiness left by the departed souls. One feels almost alone in here, save for the feeling of being with the flow of history. This is a place to remember the ones who fell in battle, the ones who clawed for survival against the wasteland, the travels you shared. Be they memories, photographs, or the library of pre-war books on the wall, the citizens of history have a place here. Hero, villain, or mercenary mastermind, the Lucky 38 Cocktail Lounge is your personal inner sanctum. Here you sit and drink alone, untouched, the inner machinations of your mind, an enigma. Plan, plot, watch over the strip from a height which none but you will be able to reach. Once a bastion of the elite, now even they cannot join your ranks. We hope this guide helps you find your next haunt on a cool desert night, and that the roads are kind to you as you travel them. Let us know what you think about these recommendations, if we missed any hidden gems, and if you want to know about any other types of establishments in the Mojave, or if you'd like us to take this tour to other lands and other franchises. If Fallout's your fixin', you'll find a Fallout playlist linked in the comments where you can find more. Until we share a drink with you again, take care.